Welcome back to the Midnight Who Show, and today we're going to be reviewing the next batch of episodes from Scooby-Doo and Guess Who. Yes, they have finally been released here in the United States, and this time they're not on the Boomerang streaming app, they're on the HBO Max streaming service. So if you're looking for them on the Boomerang, you're not going to find them. So the first episode we're going to review today is The Lost Souls of the Jungle, which stars Jason Sudeikis, who has a massive sneaker collection, and after a little scuffle with Scooby-Doo, he finds a map hidden within a shoe that leads to a lost factory in the Amazons, which can really help Sudeikis complete and have an amazing piece for his sneaker collection. But when they get there, there's a snake man trying to stop them, and I really enjoyed the design of this snake man. It's really cool looking, and it's definitely a little bit different than some of the other. I really just like the different design of it. It's a really cool one. Now, I can say this is not one of my favorite episodes of Guess Who, but I still think it was pretty decent. I really enjoyed Sudeikis as a guest star. I think he interacted well with the Mr. Ink gang, and I really enjoyed the diary bits. I thought they were really funny, and also added a lot to the story. It kind of helped set him up as a good narrator. I thought it was great. And I really liked when Scooby-Doo took it over to try to capture the snake man. Yes, Velma, it was pretty obvious who was under the mask. Look, once you could figure it out, it was pretty easy to figure out. I also really laughed at when Sudeikis finally gave Scooby a sneaker, because he has a lot of them. He gave Scooby a sneaker, and Scooby-Doo destroys it. He's a dog, what did you expect? I laughed at that part. Seriously, that might be one of my favorite parts of this entire episode. And I enjoyed the setting of this episode. I really enjoyed the Amazons. It was a great choice to set this episode with, and we'll talk a little bit more about jungle themes in a little bit. How of Scooby-Doo with Lucy Liu. Now, wow, I really enjoyed the design of the monster in this episode. The art sculpture brought to life. It's very creative and very unique, and I really enjoyed it. So, of course, this episode follows Lucy's gallery being attacked by the art sculpture monster, and the Mr. Ink gang helps her find it. I thought she was a pretty okay guest star. I think she did interact with the Mr. Ink gang pretty well, and the mystery was pretty good. Definitely an okay episode, not one of my favorites, but hey, they had a really good villain. Returning of the Keyring with Sean Astin was hilarious. I think I would have enjoyed this episode a lot more, though, if I knew a lot more about the Rings trilogy that he was in. But I still laughed every time someone mentioned Ring. He kind of started getting in this kind of trance. That was hilarious. But I think me not knowing a lot about Lord of the Rings hurt my enjoyment of this episode, because there's a lot of references to it that I just didn't kind of fully grasp, because all I really know is the ring. That's all I really know. But I can say Sean Astin was a great guest star. Seriously, he interacted so well with the Mr. Ink gang, and he really felt significant and a really great part of this story. So this story involves them meeting up with him at a diner, and they soon find a key ring, and they go on a quest to return it, which leads them to this hardware store, which is a really interesting setting. I really liked it. But they're also soon hunted by a plant monster. Seriously, this was also another really amazing design. And the true mystery, of course, people want money. That's what the true motive of this plant monster is. But yeah, I thought this was a great episode. It had some really good humor in it that I think was a little bit hampered by that I know nothing about Lord of the Rings. But I still think Sean Astin did a great job as a guest star. And I think if you did watch The Lord of the Rings, you'll probably like this episode. Cher, Scooby, and the Saragossa Sea was phenomenal. So this episode involves Scooby-Doo's birthday on Cher's yacht. And how cool is it that they brought back another guest star from the new Scooby-Doo movies? I really appreciate that the show did this. And Cher just interacts so well with the Mr. Ink gang, so I'm glad they brought it back. And I do like that they kind of changed her personality a little bit if you're watching this episode compared to the old appearance, but it shows how much, well, she's changed, she's not the same person she was from that era of Scooby-Doo, so I really like that. They brought back shark monsters. Awesome. This up there is one of my favorite episodes of Scooby-Doo and Guess Who. It was hilarious. Cher and her interaction with the Scooby-Doo Mr. Ink gang was great, and I really just like the setting of them being at sea and the shark creatures kind of coming closer and closer to them to basically get them out of there so they can get what they want. The Lost Mines of Kilimanjaro with Jessica Biel was okay. I didn't really enjoy this episode too much, but there was some really good redeeming moments in it. So a gorilla is terrorizing the area, in the jungle. And like I mentioned earlier, I didn't really enjoy the setting of this jungle in this one for some reason. I don't know why. I like the other appearance of the jungle in that episode a lot more than this one. Now, the gorilla was not my favorite monster in this episode. You know, not the greatest. But I really like the twist at the end. It was hilarious. And I like really when they get to the mines, how Fred is so good at just detecting all these traps. And we get to see him kind of figure them all out. I really like that. And I found it really hilarious that they gave Scooby-Doo an animal companion in this episode with the leopard cub. I laughed a lot at that. My review of the first 5 episodes of this new batch. Tell me your guys' thoughts if you watch them in the comments below. And I'll be back in a couple days with the review of the next 6 episodes of Scooby-Doo and Guess Who. So I'll see you guys then. Bye, everyone.